Hello everyone, this is Angie at Stampin' with Amore, and today I am sharing a card tutorial. This is a technique, and I don't know if you saw my last video on last Tuesday, but I talked about wanting to bring back some techniques that I haven't used in a long time. So I thought I would share this faux watercolor technique. And it's so pretty. I'm going to show you two different ways to use it. So this one I stamped directly on the watercolor paper. And then this one I just stamped individual flowers. And then I popped them up with dimensionals, and it just really stepped up this card. But there's two different ways, and you can do it the easy way, or you can just step it up. So this is what I'm sharing today. The watercolor paper does have a little bit of a different color, like kind of a more yellowish tinge to it, but it really is pretty on either one. This one I just used regular cardstock on it, the thick Whisper White. All right, so I'm going to show you this one first, and then I already pre-cut, because you do have to fussy cut these flowers, but we do have the punch for the leaves. So I punched the leaves and I cut these flowers, fussy cut them, and it was very easy fussy cutting, and it's well worth how pretty this card actually turned out. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. So on both these projects, you're going to need a basic Whisper White cardstock. Now I'm using thick like I always do. It's 5.5 by 4 1/4. And then we're matting this, and this piece is 4 by 5 1/4, and then this piece is 3 3/4 by 5. So this is the watercolor paper that we're using, and it is Stampin' Up watercolor paper using the Fluid 100, which is the 100% cotton, and it's really nice to stamp on. And I'm using the Label Me Bold for the sentiment. You can use any sentiments, but I do need some birthday cards, so I'm using the Happy Birthday this time. And then I am using the Floral Essence. And for this to work, you need kind of a pretty solid stamp. So don't use one that's not solid. You need that solid type. I don't know how else to explain it, but it needs to be a lot of stamping area on it for it to come out really nice. All right, so let's go ahead. You do need your Stamparatus for this. This is the easy way. You can actually do this by hand, but if you have the Stamparatus, this is super, super easy. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to place my flower where I want it. I'm going to use my magnets here. And we're going to stamp the first one. I'm using for this, the colors that I'm using are Highland Heather, Gorgeous Grape, that's for the flower. I'm using Garden Green and Old Olive for the leaves. And then for the center, which I'm going to do the center by hand and not on the Stamparatus, it just worked fine that way. So I'm using Daffodil Delight and Mango Melody for the center. All right, so let's go ahead, and we're going to always stamp the lightest color first. So I am using the Highland Heather first, and you do need a spray bottle with some water in it, and I'm going to give it a couple squirts here, and then you're going to lay it down. You don't want to saturate it because you want some detail to stay in here. And then while that's still wet, I'm going to add some Gorgeous Grape to it. Now you can dry this off and you can re-stamp it and spray it, but I thought this was the easiest way to do it. And then you can I'm just putting it like on the outer edge, just put it however you want. And I do love watercoloring technique. I like to watercolor, but this is such an easy way to get that look. And then we are going to, you can always, if you have a lot of thing, you can always just dab that real quick. And then I'm going to put another one on this side. And then we're going to do the same thing. So you grab the Highland Heather first. And we're going to give it a couple spritz. And then again, I'm going to grab this. And if you have a small, like the Stampin' spot, it works easier. You can get it exactly, you know, where you want it. But if you're real careful, you can do it either way. I've done so many right now that I'm pretty good at getting it on where I want it. All right, so there's 2 of them. Now I want to do one more. And I'm going to put that one down here. Again, I'm going to use the Highland Heather. We're going to spritz it. And then we're going to just add some and I think I'm going to add a little bit more because I think this got in the way. And I might spritz that because it looks a little dry. If it looks dry, you're going to want to do it again. And I think we'll get it this time. Sometimes you need to hold it down for a second so the water paper absorbs it. And I think that's good. So I'm just going to dab where it's really wet. And then we're going to do the leaves. So I'm going to grab the leaves now and just put them where you want them. Most of the ones that I'm going to do, I'm not going to ink up the stem. I'm just going to ink up the flowers. So let's put these away so I don't get these all messed up. And we'll grab the old olive and the garden green. Again, if you have the little ones, especially when you're like on the edge, and then I'm just going to grab the garden green, and you can see it's still pretty wet, and I'm just going to add like to the tips just a little bit there. And then that's it, that one. Again, I'm going to dab the excess off. It's so pretty. I'm going to have to move that on the top here because I want some leaves over here. Again, I'm going to try not to, you got to be very careful when you're lifting it because it's really sticky. That isn't going to work. I'm going to have to put this down here. It wants to lift up the paper because it's really, really sticky. All right, I'm going to wipe that little stem because I don't want that to interfere. Once again, spritz it. And then you're going to lift it. It's so fun to see because you get so many different looks with this. And aren't those pretty? That one really came out good because it has a lot of the dark in it. And I still did get the stem in there a little bit. All right, and then we're going to do one more, and we're going to do it up at the top here. Hopefully this is going to stay on here because I don't have a magnet up there. Just got to be really careful. I'm going to spritz that again. Lift it. I'm going to add my garden green. And then there's that. All right, there's all our pieces for now. I'm going to do the centers off of here. But I love the look of this. It's so pretty. Even when I dabbed that, I got a little bit on the side, but it still looks so pretty. I don't know if you can see how pretty that looks. All right, so I'm going to set this aside, and I'm going to just do the centers with my Daffodil Delight and the Mango Melody. Let's open them both so I'm ready to go here. All right, so I'm going to spritz it kind of off to the side here because I don't want to mess up the rest of this. I'm going to stamp that, and then I'm going to just take it along the edge and stamp it again. And it just gives it a little bit of extra color there. I love using 2 different colors on this. It just gives it a little bit more depth than if you're just stamping one color. All right, so now we have all our flowers ready to go. I'm going to actually open up the Gorgeous Grape again. I'm going to squeeze some onto the bottom so I can do a little bit of splattering here, and then I'm going to use the Old Olive because I am splattering the background. Oops. I'm going to add a little bit of water with my aqua pen. And I like to use a brush for splattering only because I have a bit easier time using the brush, and it just seems to have smaller splatters for me. I don't know. I like the smaller ones. So I just splattering here. And then I'm going to do it a little bit with the Pear Pizzazz. And I think that's good enough. I don't want to overdo it. I'm going to dab that extra off of there. This could be messy, but it's such a fun messy. So that's what we have. Isn't that pretty? I just love how this works. All right, so let's get this card done. So I'm going to use some snail and attach our Gorgeous Grape to the front here. And then we're going to put this one on here. And then what I'm going to do is stamp our sentiment. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp 2 of them since we need 2 for one for each card. I love this Label Me Bold stamp set. It adds that little bit of, black that you need. All right, I need to do that one over because I didn't get it really good. All right, those are good. And we're just going to hand cut those out. These are very easy because they're all straight edges. Okay, so we have that ready. Let's get our card back here. And this one I am going to put on the bottom of the card. Just right here. And it's just the perfect accent. Isn't that cute? I really love this technique, so I hope you give it a try because it's so fun. So let's go ahead and do the other one. Let's just go ahead and attach these pieces because I already have the pieces cut out. So we just need to layer our gorgeous grape on. And then we're going to layer this on as well. And I am going to spritz, not spritz, but I am going to use some splatter on this one. Ooh, I got this one too big. So I need to cut this one really quick. Okay, so this should be 5, not 5 1/4. So it's 3 3/4 by 5. I sure am having a hard time here. Okay, now we got it. It's always hard to cut once you got adhesive on there. All right, now let's splatter this one real quick. We're going to splatter it the same with this. And that is enough. All right. That's why you keep a paper towel next to you. I'll clean that out better when I get done here. All right, so all the pieces I already cut, stamped and cut those 2 pieces. I did 2 of the leaves. And then this is another leaf that I did. So I'm going to show you. This is our leaf punch, and it cuts this out. I'm going to need to trim this. So it cuts this one out perfectly, so that's going to save you some time if you want to do this one. And we're using dimensionals. So we're going to pop one up here. Put one here, and then we're going to do the other one. And then this one, I'm just going to kind of overlap that one a little bit. And then we're just going to use snail to add our leaves. I'm going to put a couple on the bottom. And then we'll do one on the top part. I love this card, it's so pretty. And then we're going to add our sentiment, but this time we're going to add it at the top. Up here. And then I'm going to use some of our rhinestones, and I'm going to color these with my Stampin' Blend, and I'm using the dark rich razzleberry on this because this color seemed to be the one that matched the best that I had. So I'm just going to color these. These dry really fast, and it's so fun to use on your rhinestones because you can customize your color. So we're going to do a couple down here. And then, so this one is really stepped up, but it is really pretty and so worth it. All right, so there you have it. Aren't those pretty? I love this technique. It's so fun to do. So here are all the ones I did. Those are the 2. And then these are the 2 that are somewhat stepped up. All right, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it. If you need any supplies, you can go to stampingwithamore.com and shop right from my blog. I hope you all have a blessed day. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications each time I upload a new video. I hope you all have a great one. Have a blessed day. Bye.